Hey guys, back with you now for video number 3 in our probability unit, and we're going to focus on page 6 of the notes on this video and start talking about some different ways we can make sure we account for all outcomes of a given situation or scenario, especially when we have more than two choices. That's where it starts to get a little more tricky. So I have a situation here on page 6 where we have to make 3 selections. All right. And so what we're going to do is talk about a technique or a visual aid that we can use to help us out when we have to make multiple choices. And the first, first way we can do this is with a tree diagram. Okay. And I have one here listed below, for example, 6. And basically, the tree diagram gets its name because we take each option for the first selection and we make branches here that I'm highlighting now and branch it off into options for each of the next for future selections. Okay, so there's a branch that I highlighted in yellow there between size and crust, and the one there between crust and toppings. Okay, and by then going along all the branches, I will get all the possible combinations of options for the situation. All right. This really works well when you have a very small number of possibilities, 30 or less. Okay. There's another technique we can use that I will describe in the next video that works with very, very large numbers of outcomes. But this is a great way, especially if you need things to be visual, that we can map out all possible combinations of a given scenario. Okay, so I'm going to erase the arrows here, and then we're going to get right into example number 6. So suppose we order Marco's Pizza for lunch, and pizzas can come in either medium or large sizes. So we're going to have M, we're going to use M or L to represent that. We're going to abbreviate, okay? Contain thin or hand-tossed crust, so we're going to have T or H for that, and come with one topping, sausage or pepperoni, okay? So we're just going to use the letters that I just highlighted to fill out the tree diagram, okay? And basically all we're going to do is we're going to start with size. And I'm just going to list the options for size. We can choose a medium pizza or a large pizza. All right? So that is our choice for the size of the pizza. Now, we have also 2 options for the type of crust for our pizza. Okay? We can do a thin crust or a hand-tossed crust. Okay? So I'm going to put thin and hand-tossed, okay, for the medium-sized. Okay? I can do medium thin, medium hand-tossed, but I can also do that for the large sizes as well. So I'm going to pause for a second, and I want you to fill in the blanks that I just completed underneath crust. Okay? So fill in the 2 that I just highlighted. I'll pause for a second, and we'll discuss it on the other side. Pausing now. Okay, so for the blanks that I just highlighted, again, it's a large thin crust or a large hand-tossed crust. Okay, so again, we're mapping out all possibilities here of all these different selections that we have. So now we're going to start adding the toppings to our situation. And we were told we can select one topping, so we can select sausage, okay, or pepperoni. So what I want you guys to do now is I'm going to pause and let you finish in the toppings column, fill in the rest of the toppings column with all the possible toppings for all the possible sizes and crusts for pizzas. All right, so I'll pause now and fill in the rest of the toppings column. Okay, so what we're going to do is, well, we've already done the toppings for the thin crust medium size. Now we're going to do the toppings for the hand tossed medium size. So we have sausage, pepperoni, and then we're going to do the same thing for the large size pizza. Okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to get a list of all of our combinations. Now, there's a couple of ways we can do this. We can write this as a column that I have over here on the very right side, right here, combination, okay? Or you can just make an ordered list, whatever works best for you. You might have to do both, depending on what situation you're given. So it's going to be a good idea to get in the habit of making this list, okay? And all we're going to do is we're going to go along the branches of the tree diagram and identify all possible combinations of pizzas, all right? I'll start with the first one. We're going to start with a medium size, go up to a thin crust, and go up again to a sausage pizza. So when I go across here, okay, then I will have a medium, thin crust sausage pizza. I'll do it one more time, and I'm going to let you guys finish up the rest of these, okay? So go along the branches again. I'll do medium, thin crust, but this time I'm going to go down to the pepperoni option, okay? So I will have a medium, thin crust pepperoni pizza. All right, I'm going to pause now, and I'm going to give you a chance to fill in the rest of the combinations. And then I will meet you on the other side, and we'll make sure that you've accounted for all possibilities for this situation. Okay, so pausing now. Okay, so if you did it correctly, and you're going along all the branches, we have two more medium options. Medium, hand tossed and sausage. Medium, hand tossed and pepperoni. And then we're going to do all of our large options. Large, thin sausage, large, thin pepperoni, large hand-tossed sausage, and large hand-tossed pepperoni. Okay, those are all the combinations of pizzas we have. And again, this whole list right here, okay, might have to be, sometimes might just be written as a list separated by commas. Okay, so if it just says make a list, you can just write this as a list, as a series separated by commas, and you'll have your list that way as well, okay? If you add up all the combinations, we should have gotten 8 altogether, all right? So there's our total number of events for this scenario, all right? So now we're going to find some probabilities here. And I believe I'm going to do problems 1 and 2, and I'll let you do problem number 3, okay? So on problem number 1, we're going to use the tree diagram and the list of combinations to figure out how many different combinations of pizzas apply to our given problem. Okay, and again, remember, each time you do a new problem, reset. Okay, so all of them are in play. So for problem number 1, what is the probability we order a large pepperoni pizza on a thin crust? So large pepperoni and thin. That's the combination LTP. Okay, so I'm looking at my list of combinations. I'm going to find the combination. Anytime I see the combination LTP, I'm going to put a check mark next to it. Okay, so I'm looking and I see this one right there. I don't see any others with that distinct combination, L, T, and P. All right, so I'm going to go down here and write the probability of a large, thin pepperoni pizza. And I'm going to just highlight that in pink so we can keep the check marks associated here, okay? And that's going to become 1 possibility over 8 total options, okay? So the probability of selecting a large, thin crust pepperoni pizza is 1/8, okay? Now, I'm going to pause and let you try to figure out the count for problem number 2. Okay, so in problem number 2, we're looking for a large sausage pizza. Okay, so I'm looking for the combination L, S. All right, so I'm going to pause and let you go through your list. Okay, you're going to look for L, S. So any combination has an L in it and an S in it. Okay, I'll pause, mark those, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to mark those in green color. So I'm looking for L and S. So I have one there, and I have one there. All right, so I have 2 out of the 8. Okay, so the probability of selecting large and sausage, okay, which is my green check marks, I have 2 of them. So that's going to be 2 over 8. And I guess I should have put an equal sign up here on number 1, too. Sorry about that. Oops. Let's change the color, get it correct. There we go. Now that reduces 2 over 8. Go back to problem 2. That reduces to 1 over 4. So there's my probability for number 2. Okay? All right, I'm going to leave 3 for you to do on page number 6. And that's going to be the end of this video. On the last video, we're going to finish up pages 7 and 8 of the notes and go over the table on pages 9 and 10. Okay, so we have one video remaining, and then we are finished with the unit, the semester, and the class Math 8. So I will see